Hey guys, welcome to my video today. Today we're going to paint with acrylic, but gonna make it look kind of like watercolor. Gonna use a lot of water with it. We're gonna use it on watercolor paper. And so it doesn't look exactly like watercolor, but it definitely has watercolor vibes. And you can get some cool new effects under your belt. I'm continuing the trajectory of painting peonies. Today I'm going to do one that is called the Mandarin Coat, and it's kind of Christmassy looking, and I just thought it might be fun to do a Christmassy looking flower because Christmas is next week. I do have a little sidebar. I do like the way this came out, but I'm dying to go back into it, so I think there's going to be a part 2 of this video where I'm going to basically destroy this and create something new with it. So let's do this. So here's a look at all the supplies that I'm using today. This is mixed media, even though we're using primarily acrylic. I'm still using my trusty Neocolor 2s. Everything will be linked in the description below, and anything that needs explaining will also be explained in the description below. With that, let's get going. I'm starting by mixing my paints, and one of them is really pigmented and the other one is not, so it's taken some mixing. Just starting out with the stems here, just so I have some placement in my mind because I didn't do any sketching or anything. Wetting my paper because I'm going to do wet on wet. So that's sort of the key with the acrylic as watercolor is wet on wet and then just like using a lot of water. So right now I'm just color blocking in different spots and I'm using the water that's already on the paper. And my trusty spray bottle. Whenever you purchase something that comes in one of these small water bottles and empty it out, just wash it out really good and use it for your water. They're awesome. At one point, I purchased a bunch of these spray bottles to use with paint. So I would put like pigment colored water in each bottle and try different things with them. And I put a resist in one of them. They're really fun to experiment with, and actually different spray bottles yield different results with the type of spray that they have. So it's one of those things where you can just have a bunch of them and have different types of spray that they give you. So it's fun. I'm putting the darker color in the center of the bloom where the stamen is because there's a lot of shadow in there, and the red color is more deep in the center and shadow areas as well. Here comes more spray bottle. The spray bottle's just gonna keep coming out. Lots of water. I really want to keep this green as more of a blue-green, but I have a little bit too much blue in my paint. So I'm adding some primary yellow to mix up some of this Prussian blue and help it become actual green, even though it's going to be a cooler green. I'm just blocking in some greenery now. I'm going to add some details later. Just adding some of the greenery now and using my spray bottle. I'm adding some of that Prussian blue mixed with a little bit of green because I want to have a little bit of dark accents going on. So mixing it up. I'm going in with my smaller brush now, and I'm just doing some little greenery details. We'll be doing a lot more details later, and they're not going to be like super fussy or anything. This is probably as fussy as I'm getting with this piece right now. Now I'm starting to fill in around the bunch of flowers, filling in some of the white space with little details. I just like to do variations on the colors, different tones, different marks, just all around the stems and around the blooms. I like to add little details like this to help balance out different parts of the composition and just add more interest, add more decorative variety. It's kind of like every new mark that you make, you're answering the question of the last mark that you made. So it's like a constant conversation going on, and always the question of balance, but also asymmetry, because I find it's interesting and it's what keeps you looking at a picture. Finding the balance within the unbalance is one of the things I love about creating a composition. Activating the negative space and going for that symmetry within the asymmetry, if you get me. It's a total conversation. Question and answer, another question and answer, another question and answer, over and over. And that's when you're going around your art and you're just doing your different marks. It's like one mark's talking to another mark and working out what's going to make for the most exciting, interesting, balanced composition, but also keeping it a little bit off balance too, because that off balance is what makes it you. So I talk more about this in another video called Why Ugly Art Matters. I'll put it up in the little eye in the corner. I pulled out my trusty Neocolor 2s because I love them and I can't not use them. But I draw a lot on paintings. I'm usually a mixed media person. So anyway, enough chatter about that. I'm drawing in the stamens right now. They're mostly going to stay just Neocolor, but I will add a few painting touches later. I'm using the book for reference material for the stamens, and I'm just mixing up the light and the dark. These stamens are like mostly this yellow ochre color, and I'm adding in some white for the highlights. I pulled out some red Neocolors. The actual colors I'm using are in the description below for the shadows inside the stamen and underneath the leaves. So that's what I'm doing right now. I grabbed my white Neocolor pastel to draw the petals of the flower. You'll see with the technique I'm using, it's like an eye-hand coordination thing. I'm just letting my hand follow where my eye is traveling when I'm looking at the edges of the leaves in the book, and also just using my imagination. Because the flowers that I'm drawing right now are not like one-to-one ratio of the flowers that I'm seeing in the book. I just sort of use it as inspiration. If I know like the design pattern that the leaves edge looks like in the book, then I'm just sort of letting my intuition take me, and that's what I'm doing right now. Now I'm working on adding different values to the petals. So I have an orange nail color in my hand. It's like a mid-tone. And I'm just adding the color to the leaves in different spots where I want to do transition from where the petal is shadowed to where it's being highlighted. Again, working really loosely and very intuitively. Just check in my book again to check and make sure that I get the veins on the leaves similar to what they are in real life. Don't have to be perfect, and I'm not going for like realism at all. I just like to check my reference. It helps me learn. Now I'm just adding some ornamental detail. I'm using the white to do that over some of the painted area. And I'm just going to continue doing this along with other colored neocolors on the petals and all around the rest of the art as well. Picking back up the paintbrush, and I'm working with more paint now, just adding more details, just continuing along.
Can't
I'm adding some yellowy chartreuse translucent paint now around the whole piece to just brighten things up and to tie everything together. It's fun to experiment with when you decide to spray your paper. Do you do it before you add paint? After you add paint? You could even do it while you're adding paint, but you can get different effects from doing it at different times when you're painting. And also you'll get different effects depending on the media that you are spraying onto or using the water in your spray bottle with. Okay, now I'm picking up the white paint and I'm going to add some highlight white details to the stamens. That's really the only place that I'm going to be using the white right now. I'm really trying to hold back and not put too much white. And then I'm just going to continue on and paint the rest of the painting with more colored details. So now I'm just finishing up the details on this one and I'm almost done. But you guys, I have to tell you, I looked at this painting the next morning after I did it, and I'm dying to go back into this. I think I want to really change it up. But I want to let you know that I am scanning this as is. So Giclée prints will be available of this one as it appears in this video, even if it looks different in a future video. All those details are in the description. If you do like this, don't worry. This art still does exist as a digital high-res scan and it can be printed onto an art print. Thank you so much for watching my video today. If you like this content, please subscribe to this channel. Please give a thumbs up and please let me know if you like this content and if you would like to see more of this type of content from me, because I'm sort of mixing it up. I'm playing around right now and I'm trying to find what the right balance is for me and for you guys, what you like the best. So I'm listening and I really want to know. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for all the support and I hope that you have an awesome holiday. I will see you in the next video. Bye.